Hi, it's Antony. I'm back and want to thank you for a lot of positive feedback, questions, and comments on the last video I did on natural ways to boost your immune system. Several of you asked me to make other videos on subjects of interest. So I decided to make another one now, and I'd love to hear your comments. And it's with respect to the science behind gratitude and ways to cultivate it. Now, right out of the gate, I know that there's been a lot of information on mindfulness, cultivating gratitude out there, and sometimes we have a bias in the sense that if something is simple, because cultivating gratitude can be quite simple, we tend to dismiss it because we're kind of a very scientifically oriented society. And we're often looking for sophisticated solutions. The fact of the matter is that a gratitude practice, which is very simple, has profound scientific backing and studies which have been conducted for the last decade. So that's what I want to get into. Yesterday, I was having a discussion with a couple friends and saying, I'm thinking of posting a video on gratitude. And we were debating and discussing, is it the best time or is it the worst time to be posting about gratitude? I'd argue it's the former, that it's the best time. And the fact of the matter is, with everything that's going on right now with the pandemic, a lot of elements that we frequently use to define our happiness, whether it's work, financial stability, health, or threats to health, all that has been flaring up lately, and a lot of it's been kind of taken away from us. So in my view, it's an ideal time to cultivate a gratitude practice. So let's get right into it, because I don't want to keep you in front of your screens for too long. But what my basic goal here is to share with you some of the documented findings, again, well over a decade of research, and different ways that you can actually start putting in place a gratitude routine today. And then I'll share with you some of my own routines. So the research conducted here came from Harvard, Berkeley, Yale, Wharton, UC Davis, Deepak Chopra Center down in San Diego, and many others. So what's the neuroscience behind it? And it's pretty significant. The first positive benefit of creating a gratitude practice, or just being grateful in general, is increased levels of dopamine. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter that the brain releases, and it plays a very important role in lots of functions, pleasure, reward, motivation, attention, and even bodily movements. And what has been found is that when we express gratitude, when we feel gratitude, it actually increases the duration and the level of positive emotions. And it actually leads to something called pro-social behavior. It's a term I'd never heard of before. And this is the kind of behavior that not only endears you to others because you're grateful for them or for their involvement in your life, but it actually moves you to act for the greater good rather than only for your own benefit. So dopamine release and pro-social behavior, two very positive effects. Second benefit is increased serotonin production. So gratitude has been strongly associated with increased serotonin production. There's an individual who wrote a book called Alex Korb. The book is called The Upward Spiral, Using Neuroscience to Reverse the Course of Depression, One Small Change at a Time, Alex Korb. And according to Korb, the simple act of being grateful increases serotonin production in the anterior cingulate cortex. Good luck finding that. I don't know where the anterior cingulate cortex is. But in any case, serotonin production increases as well. The third benefit is a higher level of activity in the medial prefrontal cortex. So this is the area of the brain that's linked to learning and making decisions. And they've done several MRI scans with respect to people who were thinking about something in their heads, what they're grateful about. They took two groups. One group where they were just thinking about it, and another group, they were actually thinking about what they were grateful for, and then expressing it in some form to others. And here's the interesting point, is that both scans showed that there was a surge in activity in the medial prefrontal cortex when people were actually thinking about subjects that they're grateful for. However, it was even higher in those people who were feeling grateful and actually expressed it to another. So there's a benefit to the prefrontal cortex, not only in terms of feeling grateful, but actually expressing it. That's an important point to remember. The fourth point is that you become more resistant to stress. And this is important in the context of, our overall immune system. This study came out of the GGSC, which is a center in Berkeley. They collected studies and showed that people who are grateful recover more quickly from horribly stressful stuff, whether it's been emotional trauma or physical trauma. The fifth point is that we fall asleep more easily. Now, the gratitude stimulates the limbic system, and in particular the hypothalamus as well. So it's not entirely surprising that a brain that's kind of filled with gratitude or regularly stimulated by gratitude-filled thoughts finds it a lot easier to slip into normal sleep. It's also been shown that people who have chronic pain and are suffering from serious neuromuscular disorders got some relief from their pain and slept more and felt more refreshed in the morning. So, those are 5 documented benefits from very credible academic institutions on the benefits of gratitude. And I will attach a link to this post so that you can do some research on your own. But it's a fact. And I know that in some ways, it's very easy for us to brush off a simple concept like cultivating gratitude. But the fact of the matter is that there are some serious scientific studies which basically validate and confirm that gratitude is good for you. Okay, so what are some ways to actually practice expressing your gratitude? The first one, and it's what I do, is to keep a gratitude journal. So my simple routine is I wake up in the morning, I take a freezing shower, make my bed, brush my teeth, meditate, and then journal. And I usually journal for about 15 or 20 minutes. The first section is always, what am I grateful for? So if you can find some time during the day, if you can find kind of 15, 20 minutes, not even 5 minutes to write something down, that's one way to do it. The other practice that some people do, and I have never actually done myself, is writing a letter to someone. It could be kind of a mentor, a teacher, anyone in your past life, and being specific about what you're grateful for with respect to their involvement in your life. And it makes sense to me. I've never actually done it. You don't even have to send it. You can just write it, not send it, and you will still obtain the benefits. Third point, and this is important, particularly if you want to develop a routine, is be specific in your gratitude practice. So very often, and I do this when I'm writing what I'm grateful for, it's easy to fall in the trap of just saying my family, my friends. There's nothing wrong with that. I do it, daily. You may find that you get more benefits the more specific you are about what it is that you're grateful for. So, for example, when my son Nick sends me his latest mix, his latest beats, I love it. And he asks me my opinion, what do I think about it, and he actually listens to what I have to say. It's fantastic. It's the kind of thing I'll write down. Or when Charlie sends me the first version or kind of an evolving version of his art piece, I'll write that down. So try to be specific. The other thing is keep in mind that this is like training, like physical training, like any type of training, and you need to establish a routine. And this has also been proven. You'll only actually secure the benefits of a gratitude practice probably 3, 4, 5 weeks into it. So don't expect that you buy a journal, you write down 4 or 5 lines about what you're grateful for one day, and then the next day, everything's hunky-dory and you feel great. It doesn't work like that. I know it may sound obvious, but you need to do it. And you need to recognize that there's an investment required. It's just like anything. The other thing too is you can listen to guided gratitude meditations. If you're at a loss for really being grateful for anything, listen to meditation. Deepak Chopra has some, which are guided meditations. And then you can also check out Insight Timer. I've used that for years. Calm and 10% happier. The other point here, and I've just got a couple more, is get better at receiving thanks. Many of us are great at expressing thanks. Few of us are great at receiving thanks with grace, and that will also help you. And also you can get creative. You may get bored just writing down on a piece of paper or writing down in a journal what you're grateful for. Some people will do things like get a gratitude chart. And, as they're walking by their kitchen, there's a gratitude jar. They'll write something down that they're grateful for, pop it in the jar, and at the end of the month, look back at everything they're grateful for. So that's it. That's all I wanted to share with you. Gratitude as a practice is proven to have very significant benefits for individuals. And I encourage you to practice it. If you don't believe me, do the research on your own. There's really a massive collection of research to show that it's true, and it's not very difficult to put in place. Get a journal and write down what you're grateful for. Thank you.